Well, good evening. My name is Sean Sullivan, and I am the Director of Athletics here at the Catholic University of America. And I want to thank each and every one of you for taking part in tonight's gala, in tonight's program, in tonight's celebration. We come together specifically this evening to thank you for what you, as senior student athletes, have given our department and the university during your years of participation in Catholic intercollegiate athletics. There are a number of special people and unique and inspiring performances to specifically acknowledge tonight, and we're going to do that. Both moments where we excelled, proved the doubters wrong, stood for the right values, and the people behind them who led us, who inspired others, and contributed significantly to what we've experienced together in our own unique way. But to begin this evening with a certain thoughtfulness, it is my pleasure to introduce our university president for his remarks. Please help me welcome President John Garvey to the stage. President Garvey.
Don't you love how he says thoughtfulness? Well, welcome to all of you. I had a number of graduation-related events today, and I know you're not supposed to favor any of your children over others, but I have to say that I love the athletics banquet more than almost anything that I do this time of year. It's Well, I love it especially this year because there's a special kind of poignancy to it. These graduating seniors, these athletes began at the campus the same time I did. I arrived about a month before to take up my job. I was living in Camelier in Centennial Village, and these students and I have been here for the same amount of time, and you're going now, and I don't know what I'm going to do without you, but it's really been a wonderful thing to have you. It's also been a wonderful thing to have Sean Sullivan, who arrived in November as the new athletics director. He's following a very tough act in Mike Allen, but it's been a seamless transition, and Sean has really done a wonderful job. We're so happy that he's here. I hope you'll give him a round of applause so he'll stay. One of the things that university presidents get more attention for these days is who they have for their commencement speakers. I don't know if you've been following the disinvitations that are happening across the country nowadays. Christine Lagarde at my wife's alma mater, Smith College, is the latest casualty in this. I was resolved that this wasn't going to happen to us. Last year we had a poet. The year before that we had the Cardinal Archbishop of New York. The year before that we had the Speaker of the House. So I thought it was time that we give our athletes a little attention. So Philip Rivers is the commencement speaker this year. It's not just that he's a good football player. He's really a wonderful, I can say, young man. He really is a wonderful guy. He's a good example of. I don't know if you all remember. The football players among you will, but you remember the year the Patriots were undefeated until they lost to the Giants in the. You may not know that. Those of you who are Pats fans will remember that the Pats beat the Chargers in the AFC Championship, and Rivers played that game with a torn ACL. He had torn it the week before. And played the whole game with a torn ACL, and to make matters worse, LaDainian Tomlinson, who was, the distraction from Philip Rivers, was knocked out of the game in the first quarter. So Philip Rivers is looking over his center at Vince Wilfork, who weighs 323 pounds, and and everybody knows what the game is. Get Philip Rivers. So he's got that kind of guts. He's also a really wonderful young man. He's a good example of how sports teaches people a schedule and discipline and determination and courage and everything. And he's not the sort of guy who leaves it all on the field either. He's a very nice father. He's a great husband. He's a good Catholic. He's got a bunch of kids and spends a lot of time with people who need his help. So I thought he was a good example. And so it is with our students. We one of the reasons I love the athletics banquet so much is that it's not just about athletics. It's celebrating the careers of students who at this university excel in academics to as great a degree as they excel on the field or in the pool or on the court. And they study challenging majors as well. So it's a celebration of their entire careers here. They are people who, in addition to being good athletes and good students, are also the people who lead student organizations, whom you see at Mass on Sunday, who are involved in campus ministry things or service activities. They're just really wonderful young people. Like Rivers, they don't just leave their good habits on the field. They bring them to life, and I hope that's something they're going to continue to do. Okay, so two more words that I want to add in. One of them is to the parents. I know this. I've been through this myself. I have sat through more 5 a.m. swimming practices or cold spring mornings on the soccer field when it's raining and people are playing. I know you all did that for your sons and daughters, and that's how they got to be the athletes they were, that were able to play at the college level. So you also brought them up to be really fine ladies and gentlemen. So I want to thank the parents for raising these young men and women. Thank you. I also want to thank our head and assistant coaches. The coaching at this, coaching young men and women like this is not the same thing as in Division I sports. It's not necessarily a full-time job, at least in the way we treat it, but they're here from early in the morning until late at night. Their dedication is responsible for the success of the teams, and even more important than that, they are the people who, when moms and dads think their son or daughter is slacking off in school or doing something else, they call the coach, and that fixes the problem. And that's why our students are such good academics as well as athletes. So I'd like to ask the coaches to stand so we can give them a round of applause. And finally, to the students, this won't be my last opportunity to congratulate you, but I do, and I want to tell you to take the lessons that you have learned on the field and in the classroom with you as you leave this place. So God bless you all, and thanks for all your good work.
I don't know many college presidents who just hop up, jump off, rather than taking the steps, but wow. Thank you, President Garvey, for not only being here with us this evening, but for your very visible support of each and every one of our varsity teams. We deeply appreciate your passion for athletics. Tonight, we have a number of distinguished guests with us, influential individuals who work for our student athletes each and every day here at CUA off the fields of play. Will all administrative officials, faculty members, staff members, please stand so we can thank you with a round of applause. Please do stand. And there are also a number of alums here this evening, including a handful of Athletic Hall of Fame members. If you are an alum, please rise for a well-deserved round of thanks. Alums. But at this time, I am very pleased to ask Father Jude D'Angelo to the stage as he will perform the invocation. Father Jude. Yes.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. In his address to the European athletes in 1984, St. John Paul II wrote, "Sports are not merely the exercise of muscles, but the school of moral values and of training in courage and perseverance and in overcoming laziness and carelessness. There is no doubt that these values are of greatest interest for the formation of a personality which considers sports not an end in itself, but as a means to total and harmonious physical, moral, and social development. With these words in mind, I ask Almighty God to inspire each of our graduating athletes. May your adult lives reflect the courage, perseverance, and excellence you have learned on the field, the court, or in the pool. Allow the physical, moral, and social lessons of athletics to be the strong foundation for personal integrity, fairness, and right judgment. Never allow your personal ambition for success to outweigh your obligation to serve the needs of others. As a Division III CUA athlete, you have played for the love of the game. Live as women and men in love with your Creator, who has blessed you with physical strength, intelligence, and moral courage. And we ask Almighty God to bless us in the food we will receive through his Son, Jesus Christ, who lives and reigns forever and ever. May Almighty God bless you, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Thank you very much, Father Jude. We too appreciate your continued support of athletics. As you may clearly already be aware, dinner will now be served at your table. But please enjoy not only the meal provided, but a video presentation on the screens throughout the room, which happened to be created by women's head basketball coach Matt Donahue. Please enjoy the video. Thank you, Coach. Well, welcome back. We hope you've enjoyed the meal thus far. It's important that we take a few moments to formally recognize those who frequently toil behind the scenes in support of what occurs on game day, our athletic department staff members, and in particular, our assistant coaches. And I know President Garvey was kind enough to say a few words, but I certainly want to do the same. But to our athletic department staff members and certainly our assistant coaches and graduate assistants, thank you very, very much for your never-ending dedication to our student athletes and our varsity programs. Absolutely. And of course, it's very much a cliche, but I'm going to use it anyway. We'd literally be sitting in an empty room tonight with very little to celebrate, were it not for the trust that these parents of our student athletes chose to afford us with. As coaches and administrators here at CUA, we thank you, Mom and Dad, for entrusting us with your sons and daughters, believing in the university and how this was the proper place, the only place for your child to spend 4 or maybe 5 years pursuing their education. So, from all of us, thank you for your continuous support and belief in our mission. You are a significant part of our Cardinal family. Parents, thank you. And at this time, moving somewhat off script, I'd like to invite head football coach Dave Dunn to the stage for a few words. Coach Dunn.
Thank you, everybody. Though the focal point of tonight's celebration are the remarkable accomplishments of you, our senior student athletes, we'd be remiss if we were not to take a moment and formally acknowledge the architect of much of our department's recent and current success, Dr. Mike Allen. I've known Mike for a long time. Him and I worked together at Florida Atlantic University before I became the head football coach here at Catholic. And the whole time we were there, no one ever called him doctor. I had no idea he was a doctor. And when I first became head coach here, one of the other head coaches goes, I have a meeting with Dr. Allen later today. I said, that's awesome. I didn't know Mike's dad was going to be here. When he left FAU, he was not a doctor. He took the job 2 months later. So apparently there's like a 2-month online course to get a doctorate. As many of you know, Dr. Allen now serves the CUA community as our Vice President of Student Affairs, having been asked to take on this crucial university role after 8 influential years as Director of Athletics. And now Mike is now in a position to support the broad needs of all CUA students. We'd not be who we are as a department. You would not have had experiences you enjoyed without the creative leadership, caring thoughtfulness, and unquestioned dedication and integrity-filled decision-making of Dr. Allen. Simply put, we have much to be proud of within our department. Perhaps that we should be most satisfied with is how our entire athletics family has consistently excelled in the classroom, dominated on the fields of play, served our community with selflessness, represented so much that is right about our university. We did this, you did this, under the guidance and mentorship of our former AD. Mike is a humble guy, so he certainly won't reveal just what he accomplished on his watch, which began in 2005. 24 Capital Athletic Conference, Landmark Conference, ECAC championships. 8 different CUA teams qualified for NCAA championship competition. Dozens of student athletes were named All-American, including a few of you here tonight. Hundreds of student athletes garnered conference academic honors, all conference athletic awards. Each of our 6 primary athletic facilities were improved significantly. Donations to our athletic department increased dramatically. Our commitment to serving our local community was visibly strengthened through the development of Cardinals in the community. Catholic Athletes for Christ was established in collaboration with campus ministry. In 2012-2013, our athletic department, with many of you helping make this happen, won the Landmark Conference President's Cup as the strongest and most successful overall athletic programs of the 8 Landmark Conference schools. And lastly, the prioritization of your well-being and holistic development was thoroughly reinforced through Mike's abilities to effectively mentor, counsel, and support all student athletes and members of our staff. You can tell I didn't write that. We have all greatly benefited from your involvement in our lives, Mike, though you remain as a tremendous asset to our university. In particular, you've been perhaps the most crucial and influential member of our athletics family over the last 8 years. But now you've been tasked with leading our student body in different ways. I just want the people over in student life know what they are getting themselves into. One time, Mike and myself had to go speak at the homecoming golf tournament, the Ross Natoli Invitational, as it's known. And right before, this was coming off, we'd won the league the year before. We were 9-2. We literally graduated the whole team. And we had homecoming in like the 4th or 5th game of the year, and we weren't very good. And so Mike, the good guy that he is, schedules the top 10 team in the country. And right before I get up there to speak, he taps me on the shoulder. He goes, hey, listen, he goes, you ripped me here a little bit. Just, get on me about scheduling such a tough team. So I looked at him, I said, okay. And so I went in there and I started talking, and I said, I want to thank our AD. Appreciate he's here. Thanks for scheduling a top 10 team for homecoming. And then he gets up right after me and he goes, hey, by the way, we could have played anybody, we would have lost. Who are we kidding here? That was, and he's one of my good friends, by the way. The sad thing is that's completely true. In all seriousness, please recognize that we as an athletics department are able to take the progressive steps forward with confidence thanks to your insight and energy. You have mattered, Mike. You have made an indelible imprint on our department and in the lives of the coaches and the student athletes you see before you, and for that we sincerely thank you. Before we ask you to the stage, Mike, to accept a small token of our appreciation, I would ask that all in attendance tonight rise to acknowledge Mike's contribution to our athletic department and university. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Mike Allen.
Please say a few words. I will.
Wow. Football guys, I never, ever said that. That is completely revisionist history. Dave, I was going to say you get to keep your job for another year, but we'll assess that afterwards. This is overwhelming and completely unexpected, and just, I'm so touched. Until now, this was the most relaxing athletic banquet I'd ever been to. It is no longer. The surprise was up when I saw my wife here. She wasn't expected to be here, and in our life, you can't just show up anywhere unexpectedly. It either means that I'm in trouble or the kids have set the house on fire. Hopefully, neither of those things have happened tonight. When I told our staff that I was leaving to a new position, the one and only question was, can we still have the party at your house at the end of the year? So I didn't know exactly what to make of that, but the answer is still to be TBD on that, folks. We're working on it. We don't have enough room now. Seriously, this is a wonderful recognition, and when I first was hired at Catholic, I got the sense that people here felt like they were lucky to have me come here, and the reality is I had absolutely no clue how to run a Division III athletic program. Fortunately, that was a joke. Fortunately, we figured it out along the way. I did have a lot of things that needed to be answered, but we figured it out along the way, and that only happened because I had such wonderful people around me the whole way. There's so many great memories here in the 8 years that I did this, and I'll get in trouble if I start mentioning them specifically. But for me, one of the greatest joys of the job was always when a team or a student athlete did something for the first time that had never been accomplished before at the university. And we had that happen a ton in the last 9 years. And you just can never replace that feeling when a team wins a championship for the first time, like softball and men's tennis did this year. It's just such a feeling of pure joy for everybody. And those are the memories that will stay with me forever, and just to see those faces and the pure excitement of winning a championship is really special. But without question, when people talk about Catholic University and what makes this place special, there are a lot of things, but far and away, it's the people. It's all of you. It's the people who make Catholic University special. And I've had the privilege of working for two great bosses, and President Garvey and Bishop O'Connell. I want to keep my job too, Dave, so you got to always do that. I've had great colleagues in Jim and Frank and so many others. But what will stay with me from my time in athletics is my relationship and time with the coaches and with our student athletes. I just don't think people realize the unbelievable sacrifice that it takes to have the level of success that you do. The time and energy, 12 months a year. People don't realize that our coaches spend their summers on the road, literally on the road, weekend after weekend, searching out the next great talent. Our student athletes are up at 5:30 in the morning to work out in the off season, then they go to class, then they study, then they practice more. It's just an unbelievable commitment that it takes to be successful, and I'm so proud to be associated with all of you. I'm so proud to know all of you, and it's just been such a wonderful experience. And I'd be remiss if I didn't also thank my wife. It's very hard to do this job, as our coaches can attest. It's very hard on our spouses and our significant others to do this job. We are gone on a lot of Saturdays. I'm home on a lot more Saturdays now. I haven't determined if that's a good thing for our relationship yet or not. We're working on that. But she's made so many sacrifices, and our kids have made sacrifices to make this possible. I'm just so grateful, and I'm so happy to be at this university. So thank you very much.
Mike, I think I speak for everyone here, and we deeply thank you for helping us grow and supporting us in ways that has not only produced excellence, but many lasting and positive memories. Thank you very much. At this time, we're going to shift gears and move into the awards and recognition portion of the evening. To do so, I will be calling each head coach to the stage to say a few words not only about their respective teams, but most importantly, so that coach has the opportunity to acknowledge their senior student athletes. We're going to begin with our spring sports, and specifically baseball. Therefore, I ask Coach Ross Natoli to kick things off for us this evening. Coach Natoli.
Right there if you need it. Okay. Thank you, Sean. My whole life I wanted to hit leadoff. Thanks for the opportunity, Sean. I guess if I was as fast as Mike Allen, I would have pulled it off. The 2014 CUA Baseball Seniors. This senior class rose to the occasion time and again to become one of the most resilient, nerve-wracking, and accomplished classes in program history. They amassed 94 wins over their careers, including 4 consecutive 20-plus win seasons and capturing a landmark conference championship and a berth to the NCAA regional tournament in 2011, where they defeated Keene, the third-ranked team in the country, 3-2 in their opening game. In 2012, the team won 24 games. In 2013, they won 26 games and earned the #1 seed to host a landmark conference tournament here at Talbot Field. In 2014, the team qualified for the landmark conference tournament for the 4th consecutive year. The members of this year's senior class received several all-conference and all-NCAA regional accolades, along with numerous all-landmark academic and sportsmanship awards. Their accomplishments and leadership on the field, on campus, in the community serving others, and their genuine support of their fellow CUA student athletes was truly remarkable. And now it's my privilege to present the 2014 CUA Baseball Seniors. First off, Brendan Breslin. This 2-year captain was a mainstay in our lineup his entire career. A stellar defensive outfielder and savvy base stealer, Brendan was among the top landmark outfielders each year. In 2011, he saved his best performance for the conference tournament, making 2 game-saving diving catches against arch-rival Moravian. Brendan also spearheaded our off-season weight training program each year and is one of the hardest-working players I've ever coached. Next up, Brian Cahill. This consummate team player put our team's goals far ahead of his own each year. A crafty and free-spirited left-handed pitcher, Brian selflessly pushed his teammates to reach their potential through his unmatched work ethic and steadfast encouragement at every practice, every workout, every game. A valued teammate to the end, Brian could be counted on to pick up any struggling teammate with his distinctive laugh and a playful pat on the back. Next up, Andrew Carroll. A conference starting pitcher for 4 years and a first-team All-Landmark selection his sophomore year, this intense competitor wanted and was often handed the baseball against our toughest opponents. Despite battling arm problems his junior year, Andrew's upper 80s fastball and devastating forkball were feared and revered by any team he faced. Coaches and teammates alike truly felt we could beat any team each time Andrew took the mound. John D'Alessandro. A sidearm relief pitcher his first 2 years, John selflessly stepped into a managerial role for us this season. His valuable scouting reports and analysis of opponents were integral to preparing his teammates and coaches for success each game. His steadfast work ethic and true passion for the game showed his teammates what it means to put the team first. I will not be surprised if John becomes a very good coach very soon. Kevin Farley. Kevin is one of the fiercest competitors I've ever coached. He persevered through elbow surgery the summer before coming to Catholic to become a mainstay on our pitching staff. Never afraid to show his emotions, nor am I. Kevin's 5 wins and 37 strikeouts led our talented staff this season. His 2-hit shutout against Drew in one of our biggest games this year helped us reach the conference playoffs for the 7th consecutive year. Mark Hanna. This gifted and inspiring third baseman and 2-year captain played in 163 games, amassing 155 hits, 104 runs scored, 105 RBIs, and 8 home runs while challenging his teammates to achieve excellence both on and off the field. Mark was named to the All-Landmark team twice and selected to the All-Landmark honor roll each year. He carries a 3.5 GPA in psychology, served as a 4-year Student Athlete Advisory Committee member, SAC member, while leading our team's community service efforts each year as well, and was also a private tutor and social skills guide this past year for a very special 12-year-old boy with autism. Robin Moat. This three-year captain has been our go-to pitcher against the toughest opponents the past 4 years. Thanks, Rob. Thank you. Thank you. That's nice, thanks. An impact starter since his freshman year, Robin appeared in 53 games with 41 starts, pitched 241 innings, and ranked second all-time in career wins with 18. The undisputed ace of our pitching staff performed at his best when the game was on the line and his team needed him the most. His uncanny ability to lead and inspire teammates, both on and off the field, was extraordinary. Christopher Nee. After losing his sophomore year to reconstructive arm surgery, this captain and left-handed relief pitching specialist enrolled in graduate school and used his final year of eligibility this year to etch his name in the CUA record books, where he ranked second all-time in career appearances and saves. Throughout his career, Chris pitched in our game's biggest moments and earned the right to close out games, coming through time after time when his team counted on him the most. And lastly, Michael Parco. A true student of the game, Michael Parco is one of the smartest and resilient baseball players I've ever coached. Originally a pitcher and third baseman, arm trouble forced Michael to the outfield, where he became one of our best defensive outfielders and one of the best outfielders in the conference. Often called on in big situations late in games, Michael saved his best for his senior year. Asked to play first base for the first time in his career against St. Mary's, Michael delivered a clutch 13-inning walk-off single to win the game. Thank you.
Is anyone else really excited about their outfits, though? I mean, the kind of the barbershop quartet look. It's hot. It's in. I think they look fantastic. Well, while they get, are they going to start singing? No. While they take a picture, we'll focus on our fantastic softball program. And to do that, I'd like to ask head coach Bruce McConkey to the stage. Coach McConkey. It's right there if you need it.
I'm okay. For 4 years, this group of seniors has been a part of the most successful run in CUA softball history. In their 4 years, they won the ECAC championship and reached the landmark conference championship game the other 3 times. Finally, this season, we won the conference championship and competed in the NCAA regionals. Both program firsts. This team has accepted all challenges, proving that they could play on a national level and compete with the best teams in the country. I will always be grateful to these players for their hard work and dedication to CUA, our softball program, and the success that they help achieve. My first senior is Carrie Apicella. Carrie has been our starting pitcher for 4 record-setting years. Carrie is the all-time leader, CUA leader, in strikeouts, wins, games pitched, innings, shutouts, complete games, and playoff victories. She's twice pitched in the conference championship and was the winning pitcher in the ECAC championship, and just this past week won a game in the NCAA regionals. Her dominance and consistency has been a key to our success. Victoria Capazuca. Victoria improved from a non-starter to a dominant starting pitcher. Her persistence and hard work paid off as Victoria was named first team all-conference, all-region, and the landmark conference pitcher of the year. Her record 17 wins this season and an ERA, slight earned run average, slightly above 1 run per game, led our team on our championship and postseason run. Danielle Nichols. A versatile player who transitioned to the outfield using her speed and arm strength on defense to add depth to our team. Danielle has been a team player who contributed in many different areas and always accepted her role. Her persistence and never quit attitude has made all of us proud of what Danielle has been able to accomplish. Danielle. Beth Radke. Unselfish is a good word to describe Beth and her contributions to our team. Beth is a catcher, and her commitment to our pitchers was a valuable asset to the team. Supportive and encouraging, Beth was always there to work with our pitchers throughout the season and in the off-season. These intangible skills are keys to our success. Beth. There you go. Jill Zick. Jill is a dedicated, quiet leader who gives 100% effort on and off the field. As an outfielder and catcher, Jill has a strong, accurate arm with a quick overhead release. Jill has been a great teammate who leaves with a positive attitude and hustle. No one outworks Jill. Thank you very much.
All right. I believe we're ready. At this time, Brooke Singer, men's lacrosse head coach.
Good evening. Want to start by just congratulating all the seniors tonight. This group of our seniors holds a special place in the hearts of our program. At events such as this, coaches often talk about growth and development of their senior class as they reflect on their arrival 4 years ago. But you've heard others say an expression something like, these guys arrive as boys but graduate as men, but in no way is this more evident than with this group of young men. They've enrolled from all over, from North Carolina, as far as North Carolina, to as close as Arlington, Virginia, but the bonds of their friendship have been formed forever. And it's through their success, hard work, and also some very difficult circumstances at times. They've taught us a lot about the value of friendships, the value of a supportive community, and the need of family. Through it all, the university administration and our coaching staff could not be more proud of these young men, and we thank them for all that they shared with us over these four years. Your growth has been amazing, and we wish you luck for years to come and shine on. So our first senior is Sean Cummins. Sean played in 60 career games. He scored 38 goals, dished out 16 assists, scooped up 64 ground balls with a bunch of caused turnovers. He's been a 2-year captain for us, and he's the son of Tim and Mary. Sean is an accounting major from Rockville, Maryland. And he's going on to the Naval SEAL Challenge program, along with one other of our guys. Mark Destro. Mark Destro is a 3-year member of our program. He transferred from Manhattan College, played in 16 games, recorded 62 saves, scooped up a bunch of ground balls, and he's the son of Robert and Brenda, a history major, and from Arlington, Virginia. Jack Drexel, a 4-year starter for us. Multiple-year captain, played in 59 games. All right, 57 career starts. He's been the anchor of our defense, caused a bunch of turnovers, had 71 ground balls. He's the son of Raymond and Suzette. He's a civil engineering major from Ellicott City, Maryland, and he has a job with Whiting Turner, unless he gets a better offer, which he might very soon. So congrats, Jack. Our next senior, Cam Feldman, is another 4-year member of our program. 54 games, 35 goals, 26 assists, a bunch of ground balls, the son of Paul and Maria. Cam's a finance major from Durham, North Carolina. Brian Finnegan transferred from Hartwick College in 2012. Played in 24 games, 8 starts, scored 12 goals, dished out a bunch of assists for us. He's the son of Tom and Kathy. He's a political science major from Northport, New York, and he currently has a position on Capitol Hill. Walter Hickey. Walter's a 4-year member of our program. He was second team All-Landmark last year. He just got selected to first team All-Landmark this year, and he's got a very good chance of being All-American. He played in 47 games, had 48 career goals. On the video you saw the overtime win, that was his goal against Randolph-Macon. He was selected as a captain for us this season, son of Walter and Janine. He's an engineering major from Thornwood, New York, and he has accepted a position in New York with an engineering firm. Patrick Keelan, a 4-year member of our program. Played in 18 games. He has a bunch of ground balls for us and turnovers. He's the son of Nancy. Patrick's a business major from New Rochelle, New York. Bobby Cusbit. Bobby's been a 3-year member of our program. He's played in 44 games, making 18 starts, 24 goals, 12 assists, scooped up 75 ground balls, played with a lot of heart. The son of Chuck and Marianne. He's a marketing major. Will be finishing up shortly from Rockville, Maryland. Andrew Murphy. Andrew's a 4-year member of our program. Has appeared in 26 games, 5 career starts, picked up a bunch of ground balls. You're welcome. Son of Michael and Karen. Andrew's an accounting major from Fayetteville, New York. And he's accepted a position with an accounting firm in Bethesda, Maryland already. Kevin Murray. Kevin is a 3-year member of the program. He's been our team face-off specialist, playing in a bunch of games. He won 158 face-offs in his career, which is a lot. 81 ground balls. Always played with a lot of heart. Son of Dennis and Lisa. He's an international business major from Langhorne, Pennsylvania. Our next senior is Matt Sansone, a 4-year member of our program. Played in 34 games, recorded a ton of ground balls, 5 turnovers. He had a couple of assists as a defensive player. The son of Vinny and Lori. Matt's a politics major from Cheshire, Connecticut, and he's the other one going into the Navy SEAL Challenge program. Our final senior this year is Brendan Angler. He's Brendan's one of the most decorated lacrosse players that we've ever had on our team. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us to celebrate his achievements. However, we can take comfort knowing that his spirit lives on with each of us who grew to know and love him. Simply put, he's one of the most special individuals you can meet. In his short career here, he tallied the 2nd most career points in program history. He was his first year Conference Rookie of the Year and the ECAC Rookie of the Year. He was a 2nd-team All-Conference player and then moved to 1st-team All-Conference player. He was selected as a Landmark Player of the Year in his final year, and then eventually the 3rd-team All-American. So he was selected as one of the top 9 attackmen in the entire country out of almost 300 Division III teams. As Brendan's sister put it best, he lived such a full life in such a short period of time. He's the son of John and Kathy, who are here tonight, as you saw, to accept the award on Brendan's behalf. He's always in our minds, forever in our hearts. From Fayetteville, New York, number 3, Brendan Angler.
Thanks, everyone. That was really, really wonderful. I appreciate you doing that. To keep the warmth going, I ask at this time for our head women's lacrosse coach, Megan McDonough, to speak about her seniors. Coach McDonough.
Thanks. Okay, sorry. Normally I start crying when I start talking, but obviously this is an emotional time for all of us, and especially remembering Brendan. But to focus on our 2 seniors. These 2 seniors have been a part of 4 landmark championship games and 3 landmark conference championships, as well as 3 bursts in the NCAA tournament. I have probably spent more time with these 2 than just about any 2 players I've ever coached. And as those of you who might know both Teresa and Yaz, you understand it's for 2 very different reasons. But I love them both very, very much. I have so enjoyed watching both of them grow up on their time here at CUA. And they've both left such an indelible imprint on our program, and I just can't thank them enough for that. I'm also really excited that they're both sticking around pretty close next year, so they'll be around. Yaz is a true student athlete and consummate team player. She balanced her rigorous studies with extremely high standards and excelled while always having the team and the athletic department's best interests in heart. She also helped out the soccer team one year. She's made her mark as a leader all 4 years, and on and off the field, but on the field when it mattered the most, as she was named MVP in the championship game this past year. T is one of the most coachable players I've ever coached on the field, as she diligently always focused on improving. She has come so far from the fall of her senior year, when I had a conversation with her telling her that only summer Teresa could show up, not the one that showed up in the fall recruiting tournaments. But she is also someone that I could not imagine having in our program these past 4 years, and I'm just so excited to see what the future holds for her.
All right. Well, while some pictures are being taken, I think you're in for a treat based on who our next speaker is. I'd like to introduce head men's tennis coach, the incomparable Marty Dowd.
Did he say abominable or incomparable? Here you go. My wife said, if you go off the script, you're going to make a fool out of yourself. And I'm going off the script, so get ready. Get ready. The great Franny Murray. I've worked with Franny now 57 years. And one time recently I was in the gym with Franny, and I said, Franny, in your opinion, who is the greatest athlete you've seen here in 75 years? And that man is here tonight. The Franny Murray, athlete of the three-quarter century. Joe Della Rada, right in front of me. Joe Della Rada. Thank you, Joe. Now, I said, Franny, you know, I've been here, I competed 4 years here, and you saw me compete. And I said, how do you think I'd stack up against Joe Della Rada? and there was a tear in Franny's eye. And he leaned very close to me. And he said, Marty, you couldn't carry his jockstrap. I don't remember asking to do it, Franny, but very seldom. I haven't seen Joe here in a while, but he's a special guy, and I'm glad you guys get to at least see him. Come over, and he'll be glad to meet any of you. Now, we go back to the script. I think I'll use my glasses. This has been a great year for me with the Hall of Fame, the Landmark Championship, and our first NCAA tournament appearance. But a year ago, it was a little different. I received a call from the CUA magazine, Chris McMain, and he asked me, how many years have you been coaching? I said, I think it's 50. He said, 50? 50 is big. We're going to do a spread on you. Pictures, the works. First, let me research your history, and I'll call you back in 5 days. 5 days later, he called me back. Marty, I have news for you. This is not your 50th year. It's your 51st year. Marty, 50 is big. 51, not so big. I said, so you're not doing a spread? No, we won't. I said, what if I make it to 75? He said, 75 is big. I said, the only trouble is I will be 106. That's a truth. And Chris is here. Where is Chris? Can you stand? No, where? There's Chris. An great sports writer. Chris is a good friend and a great sports writer. And I'm not angry with him at all. If I could get my speech together here. It's stuck. I didn't expect this. I'll have to ask Sean to do. I think the soup got on it. I have received 2 awards from CUA that I'm very proud of. In 2007, I was awarded the Presidential Medal. And this spring, I was inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame. However, I never received the prize that I wanted the most, my own parking spot. Since Frank Persico had one, I thought I should have had one too. However, for the first time in my 52 years of coaching, I received an email from the president of CUA that read, "You the man." And now, Frank, if I am the man, what does that leave you? One of the main reasons that Catholic won the Landmark Tennis Championship this year was experience. I had 4 seniors who were all 4-year starters. That's 2/3 of my team. Next year, I will need all your prayers. Brian, I'm not kidding. I think you are. Next year, I will need your I read that. Brian Bradley, Joe Peters, Jason Quisberth, and Cashin Utri were there at the right time, both for CUA and Marty Dowd. Brian. Brian from New Rochelle, New York, has 52 singles wins in his 4 years, which places him in the top 10 all-time at CU. Additionally, I have a special compliment for Brian. His tennis reminds me of myself when I played 50 years ago. In tennis, it's called winning ugly. Joe Peters from Newtown, Pennsylvania. In his 4 years as a starter, never gave up on a single point in singles or doubles. His intensity alone with his ability to string rackets will be sorely missed. Jason Quisberth from Fairfax, Virginia. Led the team in doubles wins the last 2 years, and we are very happy that he will be joining our coaching staff next year as a graduate assistant. Cashin Utri from Appleby, Wisconsin, was undefeated in both singles and doubles this year. Cashin played only the top 3 positions over his 4 years at CUA. Now, that's it. These guys have been a joy to coach, and they will be sorely missed. Thanks a lot.
We're going to keep it in the Dowd family and ask that our head women's tennis coach, Dana Dowd, please join me up on stage. Dana Dowd.
I hate following him. Ready? This year's 2014 women's tennis team has made history with our appearance in the Landmark Conference Championship. This group of 4 athletes made up half of my 8-person starting lineup and paved the way to this moment from their freshman year. It was not an easy road, with more than a few heartbreaking losses and a lot of tears, but not one complaint. As coaches, we know it only takes one player to change the feel of a team, but imagine having 4 players that could wield that power in a positive direction. This group of wildly different personalities somehow forged together to become a competitive force. Chemistry at its finest. I will miss each of these women and their superpowers immensely. Andy Ingram, 4-year player at number 2 through 6 singles and number 3 doubles positions. Our co-captain from Dale, Texas. Oh boy. I give Andy all the credit for bringing prayer back into my life. Landmark Rookie of the Year, twice named All-Conference, this year with her doubles partner for an undefeated conference season. Andy will be going home and finding a job, probably as president of something. I will continue to expect several texts and emails every day. Caitlin Porter. 4-year player at 3 to 5 singles and 2 doubles. Our co-captain from Audubon, New Jersey, determined, direct, undaunted. Caitlin thrives on challenge, and I knew it the moment I met her. Caitlin was an all-conference her sophomore year. She was undefeated her junior year. She went 18-5 in Landmark singles play over her career. She'll be moving to Denver, Colorado for a year of service with the Colorado Vincentian Volunteers and working with African immigrants and refugees. Elena Scusa, 4-year player. Serious and silent. Maybe one day I'll know what Elena thinks of me. I'm assuming she likes me because she keeps showing up and quietly doing her job. Landmark Player of the Week 2013, named All-Conference 3 times. She was undefeated in conference singles this year. She'll be pursuing a graduate degree in physical therapy after graduation, just like her coach. Isabel Tonko, 4-year player at the number 6 and 3 doubles positions. Patient, precise, and kind. And able to play doubles with anyone on the team. You have no idea how wonderful this is. She was undefeated in singles her freshman year and named all-conference. She did it again this year with a 6-0 conference record. She'll be applying for Olancho Aid, a program focused on education in Honduras.
Moving right along, I would like to ask that our head men's cross country and track coach, Kent Thompson, come on up to the stage. Coach Thompson.
Well, this 2013-2014 group of runners has been a great group of guys to coach. They're hardworking, dedicated, they enjoy running, and they enjoy competing. And that's, as a coach, you couldn't ask for anything more. As a coach of a team, they're a young group of guys with only one senior graduating, and that's great news. The bad news is the one senior graduating is Chris Dirks. Chris Dirks, this distance runner, or middle distance runner, showed incredible stamina on the track and in the classroom. He's an architecture major. He spent days upon days in the studio working on some great building, often emerging only to come to the track and then running back to the studio to keep working on whatever he was going to work on. On the track, he consistently put in all the tough work that he needed to do to be successful. And best of all, he was always enthusiastic, supportive, positive, and took as much joy, if not more, in the successes of his teammates as much as his own. Chris Dirks, I don't know what the future holds, but it's going to be awesome, and best of luck. I'm going to miss you.
And I believe they're right over in the corner. Absolutely. Women's cross country and track and field coach, Joe Fisher, everyone. Come on up here, Joe.
If I need it. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Well, this was a rebuilding and exciting year for CUA women's cross country, track and field teams. The young cross country team placed 5th in the Landmark Conference Championship and celebrated an NCAA all-region team member. This year's cross country team earned all NCAA All-American Academic honors as well. This year's young track team made strides during the indoor and outdoor season, finishing 3rd and 4th respectively, with 11 members of the team earning all conference honors and 5 qualified for ECAC championships in New England. As a matter of fact, Junior Murray Clark is competing in the ECAC championships today in Albany, New York. This was a rebuilding and exciting year. The coaching staff and I look forward to those returning next year. This year's accomplishments are due to the following seniors being recognized this evening for setting the standard and contributing to this year's cross country and track and field standards achievements. First, Maddie Holtz, cross country and track team member, majoring in social work from Cardinal O'Hara High School and Media, PA. Maddie contributed to the team's success, earning 1st and 2nd team all honors in the Landmark Conference Championship. She earned academic honors in the Landmark Conference Honor Roll and NCAA All-American Academic Cross Country Team honors. Maddie leaves behind memories of inspiring her teammates and her career and her caring, positive attitude and commitment to winning. Next, team captain Rebecca Radcliffe, a biology major from Charlotte, North Carolina, from Warhol, North Carolina, Charlotte High School. Becky joined the cross country and track team her sophomore year with a commitment to excel. Just to let you know, Becky, she came out and says, "Coach, I'd like to sign up." I said, "Okay." Becky ended up leading the cross country team to its first conference Landmark championship. She earned 1st team all Landmark Conference honors and NCAA all team honors. Her academic achievements and earned her landmark honor roll in NCAA academic and cross-country honors, as well as track. As a distance specialist in cross-country and on the track, Becky leaves CUA as a student-athlete leader and in the field of competition and the classroom. Next, Kristen Rayfield, an anthropology major from Walton High School in Marietta, Georgia. Since being a member of the cross-country team and track team, Kristen has been committed to scoring in competition, very committed. She earned first and second team place honors in the Landmark Conference Championship. She earned academic honors on the Landmark Conference Championship, Conference Honor Roll, and NCAA All-American Academic Honors. It is important to know, however, as Mike Allen just mentioned, enjoying first, Kristen has never scored individually in the Landmark Conference Championship. She wants everybody to know, however, the highlight came this season in the Outdoor Track Championship. She scored individually, and which was a dream come true. Congratulations, Kristen Rayfield. Thank you.
Continuing on, she's right here. Our head field hockey coach, Gia Saliza.
Our seniors' 4 years coincide with the most successful period in our program's 44-year history. During this time, the program has put together a 57-18 record, won 3 landmark championships, won ECAC championship, and made 3 NCAA tournament appearances. This year, we bested 4 top 20 teams and progressed all the way to the Elite 8, coming within a goal of the Final 4. Off the field, thanks. Off the field, the team received its 4th straight NFHCA National Academic Team Award, and 13 of our 23 student athletes made the National Academic Squad. Meg Comunale is our only senior. When Meg arrived on campus, I knew she was a great goalkeeper, but I didn't know that she couldn't do 1 push-up or really be able to look me in the eye. 4 years later, Meg leaves CUA having run a sub 6:30 mile, just completing a half marathon, and speaking her mind as a co-captain and our only senior. She graduates as the NCAA statistical champion with a .65 goals against average, and she was selected as our program's 11th All-American. Better yet, she is an awesome nurse and loves older people, and she has just accepted a position as a nurse at Georgetown Hospital. She's going to be amazing. Thank you.
Seemed as though half the room just moved over to this side, yes? Football, you ready? All right, let's do this. With that in mind, I'd like our head football coach, oh, well, there he is again, Dave Dunn.
I think people were worried. They thought there was a fire when they saw half the room get up and move to the back. This past year, we saw the Catholic University of America football team turn the corner. We ended up getting back on track, and a large part of that is due to this extremely large and talented senior class. We were able to break many school records this past year and truly came together as a complete team. Through the hard work of this senior class, they have set the example of how to turn a program around. We'll be losing 10 all-conference players. This class has taught the underclassmen that perseverance and staying the course are 2 characteristics that will help us be successful as a team in the future. These seniors were also successful off the field as well, with 3 of these graduates earning 4.0 GPAs during their last semester in college. It's a big deal for football. Let's go. We won't say that Anthony Albanese only took 2 classes this semester, and one of them was painting, but he got an A. These players could have easily packed it in when the going was tough and things weren't looking bright for us, but they stayed the course, and for that I thank you. Anthony Albanese. There we go. Was a 4-year starter defensive end during his career, one of the most dominant pass rushers in the ODAC. Anthony amassed 145 career tackles, 28.5 tackles for a loss, and 14.5 career sacks. He graduated this past December, and he's currently employed at Celgene Pharmaceuticals in New Jersey. Luke Caldwell. Luke was a 2-year starter at defensive line. He amassed 16 career tackles, 1.5 for a loss, and 1 sack. Luke's career was cut short due to a back injury, which prevented him from playing this past year. He was a great leader and inspiration for our team on and off the field. Nick Cortez was a 4-year starter at running back, burst onto the scene as a freshman when he iced a big league win for us in Emory Henry with his tough short yardage runs in the 4th quarter to put the game away. He only fumbled 1 time and is in 318 career touches. One of the most physical runners in CUA history, Nick is graduating with a degree in educational studies and is going to enter the coaching profession next year. Connor Cregan. Connor was a 4-year member of the varsity football team at tight end and punter, was a 2-year starter at punter, had a career 92 punts for over 3,000 yards, had 3 punts over 50 yards with a long of 62 this past year against Carnegie Mellon. Connor's graduated with a degree in accounting. Mark Danable. Mark was a 3-year starter, both running back and defensive end during his career. He was a short yardage blocking specialist during his sophomore year, then returned to defense, where along with 2 of our other seniors was part of a great trio of defensive end for us. Mark had over 100 career tackles and 5 sacks during his career, had well over a 3.0 GPA in business, and is currently available to hire if anybody wants him. Alex Evans was a 3-time ODAC tight end. He got smart after 3 years and transferred from that junior college, Washington Lee in Virginia. Alex had 81 career catches for 1,178 yards and 16 touchdowns. He's graduating with a 3.2 overall GPA and is a double major in business and econ, and he's going to pursue a career in the NFL this upcoming year. Johnny Funk. Was a 2-year starter in special teams during his 4-year career. Pound for pound, the strongest player on the team, was the winner of the inaugural Iron Cardinal Award as a senior. One of the mentally toughest ever played for the Cardinals. Played every wide receiver spot during his 4-year career and on special teams. Frank Granito. Yep. Frank was with the team during all 4 years of his career, the last 3 as a student assistant. Frank has coached our defensive backs during this time and has coached 2 all-league players. He also assisted with our recruiting efforts in New England and has organized a lot of our on-campus recruiting efforts. His work during the last few years on our staff has been invaluable. He'll be finishing up his degree in history this fall and will continue to be a valuable member of our coaching staff. Eric Herzishin. Eric is a 3-year starter on the offensive line. He was a 3-time All-ODAC academic member and a 2-time All-ODAC performer. Helped pave the way for a running game these past 3 years, starting the last 30 games of his career. Eric's strong point of attack blocking helped us more than double our rushing totals from 100 yards per game to over 212 this past season. Eric is getting a degree in marketing and is starting a job with Corp U in Philadelphia this next year. Tucker Hubble. Tucker was a 3-year starter at wide receiver. Ended his career with 56 catches for 765 yards and 6 touchdowns. Always seemed to come up with a clutch TD at the end of the big games for us. He's graduating with a degree in engineering, and his leadership at the wide receiver position will be missed next year. Anthony James was a 4-year member of the CUA football team, was a 2-year starter on special teams. was in the rotation at defensive end his senior year. Had his best game this past fall at home in a close contest versus Carnegie Mellon. Tanner Keefe. Tanner was a 4-year starter at wide receiver. Tanner had 78 catches for 1,121 yards and 13 touchdowns. Tanner was a consummate deep threat in our offense during his career, was also a very physical player at the point of attack. Always played his best in the biggest games. Also played 1 year of baseball while majoring in a very tough field of architecture. He'll be finishing up his degree this fall. Ralph Martello. Ralph is the smartest player to ever come from Trinity Catholic High School because it's the same school I went to, and he's smarter than me. Ralph came in and we thought he would just be a special teams player during his career. Through hard work, both in and out of the season, he developed himself into one of the toughest linebackers in the league. Ralph ended his career with over 70 tackles, 5.5 for loss, and 1 interception. Made the All-ODAC academic team. Ralph is graduating with a degree in finance, is starting his career on Wall Street this summer, working with J.P. Morgan as a financial analyst. Gene Maruca. Gene's career was cut short due to shoulder injuries. He transferred to Catholic from the Citadel in South Carolina. Was a linebacker until he got hit with the injury bug. He then turned to coaching. He was instrumental in developing Connor Stuckler and Ralph Martello into one of the more formidable linebacker crews in the ODAC. Gene is graduating with a degree in engineering. Will be moving back to South Carolina. He'll be working with Santee Cooper. He'll be involved in football at the high school level at Goose Creek High School. Jeremy Medina. Herm was a 2-year starter at center for the Cards. He's the brains behind the offensive line, making all the line calls during his career. He helped anchor one of the best offensive lines in school history, which produced the second-best rushing total in the history of our school. Jeremy was also a 2-year member of the All-ODAC academic team. He's graduating with a degree in finance and will be working for Flexco Microwave in Hackettstown, New Jersey. Nicole Muller. Nicole is by far the best hire I've made in my 8-year career as head coach. Dr. Mike Allen could attest to this. I used to intentionally screw stuff up in the hopes that one day he'd hire a secretary for me. It never worked out. So we ended up hiring Nicole on her own. She attacked her job with enthusiasm and vigor that is unheard of. She helped every aspect of our program get better. She's going to be the hardest person on this entire stage to replace. I wish the professors failed her during her senior year so she would return next year. She proved me wrong. She got a 4.0 this semester. She'll be pursuing a degree in sports management at Columbia University next fall. Pat Nielsen. Pat was a 3-year starter and by far the smartest player on our team during his 4-year career. He came up with many big plays this past year, put the game away against Guilford with a huge sack in the 4th quarter. He had a 4.0 several times during his career, including this past semester. Pat was in charge of our study hall during his last 2 years and tutored half the team in math. Probably at least half. He ended up with 40 career tackles and 7 tackles for a loss and 3 sacks. Pat will be working with Price Waterhouse this fall in financial services. Mike O'Shea came from Xaverian High School in Brooklyn, New York. Mike came in as a slow linebacker. Then we moved him to defensive line where he became a slow defensive lineman. And so the last stop in the evolutionary chain of a football player is the offensive line. He moved there his sophomore year. He ended up not being, he was all league and all South region at a position he'd never played in his entire life. He was a 2-time captain and a 3-time all league player. He constantly kept our program headed in the right direction. Nobody worked harder at his craft during his 4-year career than Mike. He's one of the main catalysts behind our season this year. Mike is graduating with a degree in mechanical engineering and returned to his home of Brooklyn, New York after graduation. Drew Roulette. Drew was a 4-year starter at wide receiver and kick returner. He holds all the school and league records in kickoff returns. He had 4 kickoff returns for touchdowns as a sophomore, 1 to win a game against Guilford. Drew was a 2-time All-ODAC performer at wideout and a 2-time member of the All-ODAC academic team. He ended up his career with 134 catches for 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns. He's graduating degree in business and over a 3.5 GPA. Mike Pitzenberger. Pitts will graduate Catholic University as one of the best running backs in school history. He was a 2-time All-ODAC performer, was the ODAC Rookie of the Year. He is 3rd all-time in school rushing yards with over 3,000 career yards. He's a complete running back that had over 100 career catches, the most in school history for a running back. He was the first 1,000-yard rusher this past year for the first time in 13 years. Mike has graduated degree in business and will be staying local, working with the family business next year. Chris Salatino. Chris was a 3-year starter on special teams and at linebacker. Chris is one of the more physical players on our team. He was a member of every special team during his career and was both our short and long snapper this past 2 years. Chris had 20 career tackles, 3 tackles for a loss during his career. He's graduating with a degree in management and is deciding between law school and getting his MBA in the fall. John Serdakowski. John was a 3-year starter on special teams and a 2-year starter at tight end. He ended up with 10 career catches for over 100 yards and 1 touchdown. John would always do anything that was asked of him by the coaching staff. He was a tenacious blocker from his tight end position. He's graduating with a degree in mechanical engineering. He's going to be working with Forrester Construction in Rockville, Maryland next year. Jeremy Shiner. Was a 3-year starter on special teams and a 2-year starter at safety and outside linebacker. He was a 5th-year senior that really came into his own this past year and played his best football. He ended up with 56 career tackles and 12 tackles for a loss. He's graduating degree in political science. Mike Skihill. Mike was a 2-year starter at safety and was team captain this past year. He had to battle through a ton of injuries. He had a broken jaw and a ruptured spleen, which Dean Torres can assert. None of these had anything to do with football, and you know that. Had the fortitude to see his career through and finish with a great career with 71 total tackles, 43 solos, 5 passes broken up, 3 forced fumbles, 3 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries. Mike will be finishing up his engineering degree in 1 month and is going to return to Boston and hopefully get a job. Next one's Matt Snow couldn't make it tonight, so we're going to move on to Connor Stuckler. Connor Stuckler is one of the best linebackers to ever play for the Cardinals. He was a starter for 4 consecutive years and led the team in tackles every year. He's one of the all-time leading tacklers in CUA football history. Never missed a game during his career. He had 336 total tackles, 151 solos, 5 sacks, 4 fumble recoveries, 3 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles. A tremendous student athlete who will graduate with a degree in business management with a 3.5 overall GPA. He'll be replacing his father as president of Team Stuckler Realty this fall. Joe Terry's not here, so we're going to move on to Dave Transinger. Dave was a 3-year starter at left tackle. He was a 2-time All-ODAC performer and a 2-time member of the All-ODAC academic team. Dave started 28 out of his last 30 games of his career. He protected the quarterback's blind side from his left tackle position during his 3 years as a starter. He was a stalwart on an offensive line that broke several school records during his career. He'll be graduating with a degree in political science and hopefully joining the military upon graduation this Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Dunn. Thank you, guys. Congratulations, football team. At this point, back to the fall. Travis Beecham, men's soccer.
4 years, 4 postseasons, 1 championship, 3 regular season titles, 2 NCAA tournaments, top 10 regionally, top 25 nationally, 50 wins, 142 goals, 95 assists, 3 regular season conference losses total. Friends of Jacqueline to teammate Jacob, community service with President Obama and the First Lady, soccer with local youth, went to Spain, showed Chelsea around the Dufour. Woo! Completed lots of homework, 3.1 GPA in the classroom, found time to play, met with Dean Torres, engineer, nurse, international lawyer, businessman, personal trainer, psychologist. They have represented themselves, the program, and our university in a way that we can be proud. Ethan DuPont, a center back. DuPont was a constant on the back line in the last 4 years. A 2-year team captain and 2-time all-conference member, contributed to 24 shutouts and has 2 career goals. The civil engineering major has a cumulative 3.1 GPA. He will be starting his career with Whiting Turner this summer. Ben Fernandez. Ben Fernandez, a senior captain, appeared in 66 games with 48 starts. As a center back, he scored 7 career goals with 1 assist for a total of 15 points. He was named All-Conference twice, All-Region as a senior, and was Conference Defensive Player of the Year in 2013. Earl Hamilton III. Greg, Earl. You may know this next young man. Earl Hamilton has amassed 8 goals, 9 assists for a total of 25 points. The midfielder has been a dangerous flank player over the last 4 years. He's already started a personal training business called Train to Win Hamilton. Chris Larson. Chris Larson has been a true leader for the last 4 years, not only representing Catholic University, but also his national Bahamian team as well. Sorry to his parents. He appeared in 53 matches with 6 goals, 2 assists, and 14 total points. Also directed several community service opportunities for the team. Chris will begin law school in Birmingham, England this fall. Justin Oleries. Justin Oleries was the model of persistence over the last 4 years. Having only seen time in 5 matches as a freshman, he worked hard to become a major contributor by his junior year. A dangerous flank player, Justin has appeared in 50 matches, scoring 3 goals with 5 assists. Kevin Romano, 3-time first-team All-Conference, 2012 Conference Defensive Player of the Year, starter since day 1, 2-time All-Region, switched to midfield as a junior. Kevin also wore the number 9. This is given each year to our senior that represents character, a high work rate, and the program's commitment to excellence. Ian Smith. Ian Smith was the 2010 Landmark Conference Rookie of the Year, a first-team All-Conference selection. Although he battled through injuries his career, including an ACL tear, he still led the team in both goals and assists, a nursing major with aspirations to work in medevac shock trauma.
Keeping with the soccer theme, women's soccer coach, JP Sousa.
The CUA women's soccer senior class has had a major impact on the program over the course of the last 4 years. With these 3 outstanding ladies leading the way, the Cardinals have amassed 34 victories and 2 landmark conference tournament appearances, including the 2011 conference championship game. They also enjoyed a memorable trip to Portugal over spring break in 2012. For all of the trials and tribulations of 4 college soccer seasons, their lasting legacy will be the establishment of team standards that are now the blueprint for all future success here at CUA. They are certainly leaving the program better than they found it 4 years ago, and they have paved the path to our next conference title and NCAA tournament appearance. Noelle Arcamano. This nursing major has been a mainstay in the Cardinals' defense throughout her career. She has appeared in 58 games and helped lead CUA to 21 shutouts over the last 4 years. She has also scored her only career goal this past season, followed by a very memorable goal celebration. A team captain and emotional leader during her senior year, Noelle's presence will be missed as she starts her nursing career after graduation. Annie Langley. A media studies major, this four-year midfielder saw time in 45 games during her time at Catholic. She scored 2 career goals to go along with 2 assists, and also had a memorable celebration after scoring 1 goal this past fall. She has emerged over the past 2 seasons to provide vital organizational leadership and comic relief whenever necessary, a team captain in Landmark Conference all-sportsmanship team selection, and will begin working for the MLB Network in New Jersey in June. Kate Masson. After transferring to CUA from UMass Lowell as a sophomore, she appeared in 54 games in 3 years, starting 51 of them, scoring 12 goals with 7 assists for 31 points during that time. Off the field, her quiet leadership and dedication to her fitness and conditioning has served as examples to her teammates in her time at Catholic. An English major, Kate has plans to study for the LSATs and apply to law school. Thank you very much.
Okay, right now we're going to ask assistant volleyball head coach Claudia Jean up to the stage to represent the volleyball program. Claudia Jean.
This graduating class of women's volleyball players is one of the most decorated in recent memory. Though we featured 2 senior student athletes this year who have enjoyed 95 wins since 2010, just one is able to join us this evening. However, our seniors led the program to an average 24 wins over the last 4 years and reached the conference semifinal last November with 4 freshman starters. Our future is very promising and in perfect shape to perhaps win a conference title and advance to the NCAA tournament. We thank our seniors for helping us create this opportunity. Bridget. Bridget was an all-around student athlete. On the court, she was one of the team captains and major part of the program's 4-year success. This season, she was named All-Conference Second Team. A 3.88 biology major, Bridget was named to the 2004 Landmark Conference Senior Scholar Athlete for her work in the classroom and her community service involvement. She is a member of CAC and helped organize many events such as the MLK Day of Service and the department's first field day here at the Dufour Center. Bridget is a great person who loved the game of volleyball, and we wish her the best of luck in the future.
Thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Bridget. At this time, men's basketball coach Steve Howes. Coach Howes, come on up.
This is the end of an era for our program. 8 years ago, I met the Highland family when they visited campus with their son Ryan. Ryan tried out that fall, was out of shape, and promptly cut. What I got out of that, though, was one of the best managers and student assistants in our program's history, who played 1 flawless minute against Notre Dame and became a friend, volunteer assistant, and graduate assistant who now leaves here with an MSBA. Despite all my flaws, Ryan allowed his brother TJ to join me as a manager and student assistant. We've heard a lot of great athletic accomplishments here tonight, but a lot of great athletes. TJ is not one of them. Here is TJ, though. Loyal, mature, dependable, hardworking. He, too, I am very proud to call a friend now. He was an extension of my staff, helping us to win the Landmark Championship in 2013 and earning the respect of everyone in our program. TJ, you've left an incredibly positive mark. I'm truly appreciative and you will truly be missed. Mr. and Mrs. Highland, thank you for trusting both of your sons to me for the last 7 years.
He's making his way to the stage, head women's basketball coach, Matt Donahue. Matt.
Our seniors had some incredible hurdles in front of them this season. Having witnessed the graduation of 4 starters and 8 seniors from last year's program, these young women were picked to finish in the middle of the pack in our conference, and quite frankly, weren't expected to accomplish a great deal by those outside of our program. They took that challenge on head on and promptly turned in one of the finest seasons in program history. They will graduate as the most successful class to ever wear the uniform, having compiled an impressive resume that includes a 4-year record of 90-24, 2 conference championships, 2 NCAA national tournament appearances, an ECAC championship, and a run as one of the nation's best during their time on the courts. Thomas Berry. Thomas is an 11-year veteran of the program. Thomas started as a manager at the age of 11 and worked his way up through the ranks to student assistant coach this year. A lifelong fan in front of the CUA athletic department, he has simply done it all. He has given a great deal to our program and undoubtedly has a bright future ahead of him, although I'm a little concerned after Coach Howe's speech because Thomas will be moving in to help out with the men next year as a GA over there. Elizabeth Briones, an immensely versatile athlete. Liz battled through injuries and illness throughout her career. Through it all, she displayed an incredible resolve and perseverance while continuing to maintain a tremendous presence. Liz is planning on pursuing a career in politics upon graduation, and if her determination and attention to detail on the basketball court are any indication of her potential as a politician, she will undoubtedly be an amazing success. Carlin Dixon, an incredible leader and source of energy. Carlin simply found ways to contribute to this program's success. When healthy, she produced in big spots while competing at a high level, and when injuries slowed her down, she worked even harder to become an extra mentor and guiding presence on the bench, on the court, in the classroom, and in the locker room. A gifted communicator and leader, her leadership had a dramatic impact on the program. Emily Grabiak. As Landmark Conference Player of the Year, an All-American, and a captain, Emily has simply been the definition of a glue kid in our program. Whatever this team needed over the course of 4 years, Emily was able to identify and produce it. A leader in every capacity, Emily should be remembered as one of the toughest and most selfless athletes to ever wear the uniform. She will graduate as one of the most decorated players in program history, having amassed more than 1,100 points, 740 rebounds, 400 assists, and 250 steals. And for the record, no other athlete in program history has ever amassed those numbers. Thank you.
Moving from the court to the pool, Paul Wass, men's and women's swim coach. Coach Wass.
After watching football and baseball tonight, I just want to say how grateful I am that affectionate taps on the backside are not a part of the culture of swimming. Men's swimming. This men's class arrived with a bang. As freshmen, they lit a fire under the classes above them, and since then, they've set the tone for the classes below them. As a group, their defining characteristic was their competitiveness. While I sometimes had to get on them about their training, when it was time to race, they always rose to the occasion. I'll remember so many highlights and exciting finishes from this group, culminating in the best top-to-bottom team performance I've ever been a part of at this year's conference championship. Caleb Capizella. I mean, look at that slide. We could use 10 more slides and still have room to fill it up. Caleb's been the face of our program since the moment he arrived on campus, both in the pool and the classroom. He could swim any event and he could win them all. If Caleb didn't win, we didn't win, but Caleb always won. His impact on this program is impossible to overstate and will be felt for years to come. Jacob Deptula always swam the 200 butterfly, arguably the toughest event there is. Cared deeply about his and the team's performance and wore his heart on his sleeve. We'll miss his passion and his unofficial role as team photographer. Stephen Gill, 4-year scorer at the conference meet and always found a way to swim fast when it counted. He was cool under pressure and for many years was a key relay component for us. We could always count on a good split from him when we needed it. Dominic Grillo. Dom had more pure speed than anyone I've ever coached. Almost a guarantee to win the $50 meets. He graduates as landmark champion and school record holder. He was a total X factor on all our sprint relays and swung many meets in our favor. Evan Hundley. My Swiss Army knife. Evan had a fully comprehensive skill set. Battled through some late career injuries and was an outstanding captain and team leader as his role in the pool changed. I'll miss knowing I could plug him into any event and expect a great result. Zach Hutton. Zach was a 4-year member of our distance squad, and he was always ready to put up a great effort in the 500 and 1650 freestyle events. Always willing to make the extra effort to prioritize his academic responsibilities. Justin Kenyon. No race was long enough for Justin, and I'll miss watching him hunt people down on the back half of those distance events. It was a real luxury being able to pencil him in the 1,000 and 500 and all our meets, and I know I could count on his best effort. Now women's swimming. This group of women have been the backbone of our improvement over the past 4 seasons. The team shifted to fit their commitment and attitude rather than the other way around. In the pool, they've been relentless trainers and racers. They held themselves and their coaches to a standard that reflected our shared goals. Their commitment to recruiting and team building has us in a position for great success in the near future. Outside of the pool, their energy, organization, and enthusiasm will be missed. Bird bath forever. Chelsea Doyle joined us midway through her sophomore year and set a school record in the 200 back 4 weeks later. Battled through major injuries her entire career, never making excuses, and always finding more ways to make us better. A great example of tenacity and toughness. Gabrielle Giambagno always swam the toughest events for us and embraced her role as a key member of our distance crew. A huge point scorer at the conference level, she was often our secret weapon. A great role model outside of the pool, she set a terrific example for the rest of the team. Laura Keene. To call Laura's enthusiasm contagious would be the understatement of all time. Her positive energy made her a welcome addition as a freshman, and by the time she was a junior, she had improved to the degree that she made second team all-conference. Joanna Lattis. All told, the best freestyler in conference history. She didn't just beat people, she broke them, and she left a trail of crying competitors in her wake. Toughest woman I've ever coached. She didn't just swim as fast as she could, she swam as fast as we needed her to, which is a huge difference. Allie Taylor, a very important part of our breaststroke and sprint freestyle group. Allie could always be counted on to face challenges with a smile and to provide a crazy story to back it up. Did a great job balancing swimming with a very challenging major.
All right, well, thank you, Coach Wass, and congratulations to all of our senior student athletes for a job done exceptionally well. Let's give them a round of applause. At this time, we'll be shifting gears, and we're going to give out some serious hardware. Yes, it's time to award a handful of very significant departmental honors to a small number of recipients. To select these individuals and to hand out these awards, our athletic department staff reviewed a series of nominations that were submitted by the coaching staff. Therefore, to be nominated is a very significant achievement in and of itself. We think you are among our very, very best. To begin the awards ceremony, it is my pleasure to ask that she return to the stage, but this time bring Mom, head women's tennis coach Dana Dowd, and her mom, former Senior Women's Administrator Yoni Dowd. Come on up.
She's coming. Yoni Dowd came to Catholic University after receiving her physical education degree from Southern Connecticut University in 1961. She developed the physical education program, ran intramurals for women, and as the need for women's athletics grew, served as the faculty mentor and first head coach for almost every women's sports team as they were forming through the 1970s. She rose in the ranks to become assistant athletic director, senior women's administrator, then NCAA representative, while continuing her head coaching duties with women's tennis for 34 years. Thank you. She coached all three of her daughters and held rankings as high as 23rd in the country. She retired in 2009, but continues to support Catholic athletic events, as well as her husband and daughter, who are still coaching. Good job. Mrs. Dowd stated, "I feel that sports help foster a combination of maturity, dedication, and hard work. They teach you about life. The athletic program here at Catholic University is a great contributor to the overall development of a person. The opportunities of competition and lifelong friendships are something to be valued for a lifetime." The Yoni Dowd Student Athlete Role Model Award is given annually to a male and female student athlete who exudes graciousness in victory, humility in defeat, and rallies their peers to consistently compete at high level in athletics and beyond. This year's nominees have led their respective teams in many different ways, but continually proved themselves as exemplary student athletes on and off the playing fields. Will the female nominees for the Yoni Dowd Student Athlete Role Model Award please stand when your name is called, and please hold the applause. Yasmin Adjari, women's lacrosse. Andrea Ingram, women's tennis. Bridget Coolish, volleyball. Rebecca Radcliffe, women's cross country and track and field. And the female winner of this year's Yoni Dowd Student Athlete Role Model Award is Andrea Ingram. Ingram is a recipient of the 2014 Student Athlete Leader Award, 2013 Coaches Award, 2011 Landmark Rookie of the Year, and a two-time second-team All-Conference selection. She served as team captain this past season and was heavily involved in service initiatives. She is president of Catholic Athletes for Christ, a member of the University Hearing Board, Campus Catechesis, and the Music Ministry. She volunteered with numerous organizations, including March for Life, Athlete Service Day, the Brooklyn Community Outreach, and Friday Night Fellowship. Andrea exhibits all we look for in our student athletes: leadership, team spirit, and unrelenting hard work. And I can honestly say I have never coached a more valuable team player and leader. Andy is a politics major and a member of the Dean's List. We now move on to the male nominees for the Yoni Dowd Student Athlete Role Model Award. Please stand when your name is called, and please hold your applause, like that works. Sean Cummings, men's lacrosse. Michael O'Shea, football. Jason Quisberth, men's tennis. And the male winner of this year's Yoni Dowd Student Athlete Role Model Award is Michael O'Shea. O'Shea was a 3-year starter and a 2-time captain who has been the heart and soul of CUA football team. The mechanical engineering student is a 3-time All-ODAC selection and an All-Region selection. Academically, he has received the Parrish Scholarship, the Alumni Scholarship, and the CUA Academic Scholarship. He has worked alongside several classmates to develop 2 outstanding projects. For his senior project, O'Shea worked with a team of 6 individuals to design and fabricate an airplane. This project was then presented to the CUA Board of Trustees, engineering professors, and professional engineering alumni. His second major project was a conceptual Mars rover that went before a panel of professors and members of the Curiosity rover team from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. O'Shea is one of the most active student athletes in the campus community. He was selected by the Vice President of Student Affairs to assist other university officials in the planning process of the University Student Center. He is a 3-year member of the Catholic Athletes for Christ, volunteered at the Armed Forces Retirement Home, and participated in various Special Olympics and American Cancer Society Relay for Life fundraisers, as well as the Martin Luther King Day of Service and the Hurricane Sandy Relief Project.
Well, he's been up here once, but we're going to ask him to come on back to announce our Senior Student Athlete Awards, Dr. Michael Allen, Vice President of Student Affairs.
Dana, you forgot to mention that Mike O'Shea also jumped into the polar plunge wearing a ballerina costume, which was very expressive. Sorry, Tinkerbell. Sorry. Also one of the best leaders we've ever had here, so congratulations, Mike. And congratulations to all the seniors. You have been a wonderful group, and we are truly going to miss each and every one of you. The Outstanding Senior Student Athlete Award is presented to the male and female athlete who have made significant contributions to their respective teams. Among them are CUA record holders, NCAA championship tournament participants, and major conference award winners. Each has played a significant role in their team's success over the past 4 years. Will the nominees for the Female Senior Athlete of the Year please stand when your name is called, and I won't bother asking you to hold the applause. Victoria Capazuca, softball. Emily Grabiak, women's basketball. Joanna Lattis, women's swimming. And this year's Female Athlete of the Year is Emily Grabiak, women's basketball. Emily will graduate as one of the most decorated student athletes in the history of the women's basketball program. During her senior year alone, she was selected as an All-American, was recognized as a first-team All-Region selection, was the MVP of 2 tournaments, and was selected as the Conference Player of the Year. As Coach Donahue mentioned, 1,100 points, 740 rebounds, 250 steals. She was everywhere on the basketball court. That is filling up a stat sheet. She served as a team captain during her junior and senior seasons and led the program to its first conference title, the NCAA tournament appearance and win, numerous top 25 rankings, and 4 consecutive winning seasons. Emily has also been very active in the campus community. She has participated in the WBCA Play for Gray initiative, Race for the Cure, CUA Play for K Day, Feed the Homeless Drive, and Relay for Life, among others. Emily will graduate on Saturday with a degree in media studies. Please join me in congratulating Emily Grabiak. Now for the Male Outstanding Senior Athlete Award. Please stand when your name is called. Brian Bradley, men's tennis. Caleb Capizella, men's swimming. Ben Fernandez, men's soccer. Robin Moat, baseball. Michael Pitzenberger, football. Kevin Romano, men's soccer. And Connor Stuckler, football. And this year's Male Athlete of the Year is Kevin Romano, men's soccer. Kevin has excelled since he arrived at CUA both on and off the field. He is a 3-time first-team all-conference selection, an all-region performer, and he was named the Landmark Conference Defensive Player of the Year. Kevin's efforts have led the soccer team to 4 consecutive winning seasons, 3 regular season championships, a conference title, and 2 NCAA tournament berths. In addition to his athletic accolades, Kevin has been a member of the Student Athlete Advisory Council. He has volunteered with the Cerebral Palsy Foundation, Friends of Jacqueline, the Armed Forces Retirement Home, and he participated in the MLK Day of Service. Kevin will graduate with a degree in marketing. Congratulations, Kevin.
Congratulations. At this point, I'd like to ask our provost, Dr. James Brennan, to the stage to award the Donnelly and Harris Cups. Provost Brennan.
Good evening. It's been a wonderful evening. We're drawing to an end now, and the final 2 awards of the evening are the Donnelly and Harris Cup. The Donnelly Cup is presented annually to a female student athlete regarded as an outstanding leader, athlete, and scholar who made a considerable contribution to the campus and the community. Will the nominees for the Donnelly Cup please stand when your name is called? Please hold your appointment. I know. Victoria Capazuca, softball. Megan Comunale, field hockey. Joanna Ladas, women's swimming. Rebecca Radcliffe, women's cross country and track and field. And the winner of this year's Donnelly Cup is Megan Comunale. Megan Comunale is a nursing major with a 3.24 grade point average. She will graduate as an integral part of the program's 3 conference championship, 3 NCAA appearances, and the women's first Elite 8 appearance. As a senior, she led the nation in goals against average at a remarkable .65 average. She is NFHCA's second-team All-American, first-team All-Region, and a 2-time first-team All-Conference selection. Synapse Sport first-team All-American, ECAC Player of the Week, an NFHCA Senior All-Star participant, and a 2-time Landmark Conference Defensive Player of the Week. Academically, Megan is a member of the Dean's List, the Nursing Dean's List, one of 4 student athletes selected to the Landmark Conference All-American team, a member of the NFHCA All-American Squad, All-Academic Squad, I beg your pardon, and a member of the Landmark Conference Honor Roll 3 years in a row. She has been very active in community, volunteering with the Armed Forces Retirement Home, Relay for Life, Special Olympics, MLK Day of Service, Carroll Manor Nursing Home, and Little Sisters of the Poor. A regular at the DeForest Center, Megan, who is quick to smile and has a kind and gracious heart, loves the elderly, looks forward to pursuing a career in gerontology, and as we heard earlier, she's already accepted a position at Georgetown Hospital. Congratulations. As a reminder, the Harris Cup is presented annually to a male student athlete regarded as an outstanding leader, athlete, and scholar who made a significant contribution to the campus and community. Will the nominees for the Harris Cup please stand when your name is called? Brian Bradley, men's tennis. Caleb Capozella, men's swimming. Mark Hanna, baseball. Walter Hickey, men's lacrosse. Eric Hirschishun, football. Kevin Romano, men's soccer. And the winner of this year's Harris Cup is Mark Hanna. Mark is a two-time first-team All-Landmark selection, a two-time Player of the Week, and he has led the team in numerous statistical categories. His achievements on the field have guided the program in 4 straight Landmark Conference tournament appearances, while clinching the title his freshman year to advance to the NCAA Regionals and the Mid-Atlantic Regional Tournament. Mark has been a member of the Dean's List since his first year and is a member of the Landmark Honor Roll 3 years running. He is graduating with a 3.5 grade average and a degree in psychology. Good field. In addition to his success on the field and in the classroom is his dedication and service in the community and his fellow student athletes. Mark, who is currently on the Student Athlete Advisory Committee as serving as Vice President, has been a member of SAAC all 4 years. He has also volunteered with DC Reads, the Special Olympics Polar Bear Plunge, Fall Sports Cleanup Day, and the MLK Day of Service. Mark was the co-chairman of the Brookland Field Day at the DeFore Athletic Center this past April, a camp counselor with New Jersey's Bloomfield Parks and Recreation, and a private tutor for special needs students in Silver Spring, Maryland. Mark is a truly inspiring young man and a leader.
Pretty impressive group of young people, huh? Well, at this time, it's a very appropriate moment to be able to ask one of your own to come on up and give a few remarks. So at this time, in talking to a variety of coaches and administrators, we wanted to pick an individual that we thought would be fully representative of your experiences and what your thoughts and feelings might be as student athletes over your 4 or 5 years here at Catholic. And to do that, I'd like to bring up the aforementioned Mike O'Shea. Come on up, Mike. Come on up, Mike.
Hello, friends, family, and coaches. I'm Mike O'Shea, a senior offensive lineman, mechanical engineering major, and I am thrilled and excited to be your senior athlete speaker tonight. I know many of you may be surprised to see the kid from McFadden's and the football house up here on stage, not doing an awful version of Sugar We're Going Down Swinging or some Shania Twain. But I'm going to do my best to make this speech similar to our 4 years here, filled with a lot of success and some laughs. It's impossible to think of the class of 2014 without considering the 14 conference championships, numerous all-conference selections, and 7 conference players of the year. We are the 2013 Landmark Conference President's Cup champions, which is a true sign of the success we've had as a group and is a reflection of our years of hard work as a class. Over the last 4 years, we've all grown in a variety of ways, as students, athletes, leaders, and as men and women. Apparently, that includes gaining 50 pounds, which I have Priz Unlimited swipes to thank for that. We entered as wide-eyed 18-year-olds and now leave as battle-tested, accomplished young adults. As athletes, we are very proud of who we are and who we have become, but we cannot forget who we have lost. Last year, we lost one of the good ones in Brendan Englert. Brendan was an exemplary student athlete for this school, and we are honored to have had him for the time that we did. We all have special memories from our time here that will stay with us forever, but we are appreciative of the lifelong friends we've gained over the years. Spending countless hours together in the weight room, training room, and practice fields has led to bonds that will never be broken. I'd now like to take the time to thank the immortal Franny Murray and his sidekick, Bobby Picardo. Not only for all their help and support in anything we've needed over the last 4 years, but for their combined 80 years of commitment to CUA athletics. Bobby may only have 6 compared to Franny's 74, but we love them all the same. Next, we cannot give enough thanks to the group that took care of us for 4 years, our amazing training staff. From a sore throat to a twisted ankle, we all learned that there was nothing a little bit of heat and stim couldn't fix. We've also been lucky as a class to have 2 great athletic directors in our time here, and would like to thank them both very much for all they have done. It was exciting to see Dr. Allen's tremendous work be recognized by the university with his promotion to Vice President of Student Affairs and the huge corner office that he got. The transition to Mr. Sullivan has been extremely smooth, and we're excited to see him take this athletic department to new heights. Endless thanks goes out to our coaches for putting up with us and guiding us during our time here. Last and most importantly, thanks to all the parents for giving us the opportunity to come to such an amazing school and make us the accomplished soon-to-be graduates that we are. Having the rare opportunity to play college athletics has been a life-changing experience that has prepared us for what to expect in our years post-graduation. We've learned the importance of hard work and preparation, the gut-wrenching feelings of defeat, and the absolute high of victory. We've learned not only how to work as a team, but that when you do work as a team and come together as one, the sky is the limit. We all come from different walks of life, and some of us may have never met, but we always be bonded as athletes, knowing the sacrifices necessary to be truly successful. We all love NARPs, but the fact of the matter is, they don't know how we're wired. It doesn't make sense to wake up at 5:30 every day in the middle of the off season to work out, but we all did it for the love of the game, and that's what I'll miss the most. That bond of competing with your brothers and sisters with one goal in mind, knowing that you would give everything for that person next to you. It's a special feeling, and it is one I'll never forget. Now, as a good Irish Catholic boy, I'd like to finish with an Irish blessing for all my 2014 senior athletes as our time here has officially come to a close. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Incredibly well said. And as we near the end, it's completely appropriate that I ask Father John Beal, our NCAA faculty representative and probably our #1 fan, to perform the benediction. Father Beal.
Heavenly Father,
Thanks for the memories we have shared here this evening. The memories that we take with us as we bring this evening to a close and go our separate ways. We thank you once again for these young men and women whose accomplishments we have remembered and celebrated tonight. O Lord, as they go on to their lives after the Catholic University, we entrust them to your loving care. During their 4 years here, you gave them the fortitude to endure practices in blazing heat and in icy cold, in crisp, fresh air, and with the sweet odor of the transfer station wafting over the field. You kept them safe as they traveled to sometimes out-of-the-way places, and you brought them home through rain, snow, and fog. As they go forth from here, continue to watch over them and to lead them to even better places. As they search for your plan for the rest of their lives, do not let them lose their ways, but lead them through the fog of doubt and uncertainty to where you want them to be. While they were here, you helped them to survive the bumps and the bruises, the aches and the pains that come with athletic competition. You helped them to meet the challenges of the classroom, often with distinction. And you helped them surmount the headaches and heartaches of growing to be the young adults they are today. Continue to help them to endure the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune and to have the courage to take up arms against the seas of troubles that will inevitably be there. Here they have experienced the thrill of victory, but also the agony of defeat. We know that they will continue to experience ups and downs, triumphs and tragedies in their lives beyond this university. Help them to accept success with gratitude, to learn from failure, and to trust always that win, lose, or draw, you know better than they do what is for their good, and that you will not let success spoil them or defeat crush them. Father, we send these young men and women forth to begin new lives, confident that you go with them to lead them on, even when the night is dark and they feel far from home. We send them forth confident that they are in your hands forever, through Christ our Lord.
We sincerely value your words, Father Beal, and thank you very much, and your support throughout the year, both within the department and beyond and in the classroom. We value you very much. Thank you so much for being here. So we must also acknowledge the months of work before we wrap up provided by the Senior Athlete Banquet Committee. This is the group that really put this together. And let me tell you, it takes an awful lot of effort. To Gia, Travis, Ariel, Jamie, Pat, Jamie, Matt, and Kelly, many thanks to these folks. I sincerely thank you, and let's give them a round of applause. And of course, thank you to all of you here. We greatly appreciate your attendance tonight, but to our student athletes, we as a staff are indebted to you for the years of dedication you have provided us with. On behalf of the entire athletic department, and of course the university as a whole, we wish you the very best of luck as you attack your respective futures. And do enjoy this weekend's festivities, but we absolutely hope that you remain in touch with us and the Catholic University of America. That's a wrap, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Get home safe.